Happy Saturday, guys. Today's home workout is another benchmark, double benchmark back to back here from yesterday. This benchmark is called Chelsea, and it's kind of taking that Sydney workout, which is 5 pull-ups, push-ups, and squats here, 5, 10, 15. But this time putting it into an EMOM format instead of an AMRAP. And we're going to try to do a round every minute on the minute for 30 minutes. So this one might sound a little bit intimidating at first, but think about your progressions first here. The pull-ups, push-ups, squats, all these movements should take you about 45 seconds, about 50 seconds approximately, and give you about, let's say, 10 seconds of rest from round to round. And that 10-second rest isn't, or that round that you first finish shouldn't be at 100% effort. It's at an effort that you're going that's sustainable. So once you finish that round, you're like, okay, I feel good, I can still keep this going. So that's kind of the pace you want to be going at, and the progressions should make you feel that way when you're doing it. So pull-ups now. If you don't have a pull-up rig at home, definitely go for some bent over rows or even use that towel pull-up setup. Push-ups are the hardest part out of the 3 here. So push-ups, break them up if you know you're gonna be having to break this up maybe after the 10-minute mark. So if you get to 10 minutes in, you are finishing 100 push-ups by then. So if you think you're gonna be fatiguing by that point, and that's a lot of push-ups, start breaking it up earlier. So maybe go 6 and 4 instead of trying to do it unbroken. And then with the squats, guys, this is just, again, leg endurance, trying to build out endurance up within that minute. Now, 5, 10, 15 is quite a bit, so you can always scale it back down to 3, 6, 9, and you still get the same stimulus out of this workout by doing that. So 3 pull-ups, 6 push-ups, 9 squats. By the end of this workout, you're doing quite a bit of reps in this whole segment. So you will be doing, for example, 90 squats, 60 push-ups, and 30 pull-ups by the 10-minute mark, and then multiply that by 3, you're doing quite a bit of volume there. So it's still good to even progress it down a little bit so you can stay within the minute and be able to finish that in the 30 minutes there. So again, it depends on where your skill level is and your strength levels are. Play around with it. I feel like if you are not really sure, always kind of sit back on that 3, 6, 9, and then you could always build back up to that 5, 10, 15, or just add a little bit more if you can still maintain it. One other thing is that aim to get at least 20 rounds done. After the 20 round mark, if you feel you're just kind of falling off, or that was like your max threshold, leave the last 10 minutes of that workout as an AMRAP and just try to get as many rounds as possible for the last 10 minutes. So from 20 minutes to 30 minutes, treat it like that. But at least try to score to get 20 minutes done, which is the same kind of idea as like doing Sydney for 20 minutes. And that's a benchmark workout there. It's a good way to kind of see where you're at with it. 20 rounds is a kind of a good score to get to, and then the rest you can leave as an AMRAP to finish after that. So again, reducing rep range is a perfect idea, and also try to aim to get to that 20-minute mark for this workout. And don't forget to write this one down in your journal so we can test this one later on down in the cycles. After this, guys, we're going to stretch it out after that long workout. 120-second hamstring stretch per side, so 2 minutes per side. Play around with any style that you like with this one, and really just try to make sure you're getting that stretch and breathe in that position. Really just try to get comfortable and cool down your system after the workout. Hope you guys enjoy this one and the afterburner. We'll see you guys next for the warm-up video.
Okay, let's get ready to warm up here. Today's warm up is an AMRAP 6. So we're moving for 6 minutes. Okay, so it's not about doing 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds. You move at the pace that you consider is a warm up, that gets your heart rate going elevated, that gets the muscles fired up in the movements that we're trying to get your hamstrings, your glutes, and your upper back muscles like your lats, your rhomboids. Focus on the area versus focusing on the speed or the rounds that you're doing today. Okay, get warmed up. So first movement, 1 for 30 double unders, 60 singles. So if you don't have a skipping rope, go into those hops. So hop, single tap, or maybe it's a double tap. So hop, double tap. Repeating that, guys. For the 30 for double unders would be the 30 hops with a double tap. Okay, so that would be equivalent. When you're done that, from there you're going 5 per side of your single arm row. So find an object, could be a band, could be a weight, kettlebell here in this case, guys. You're gonna lean forward. If you find it a little bit awkward, you don't have another object on the other hand, feel free to follow along. If your stance is a little bit off, feel free to go into that split lunge. Okay, whatever feels comfortable. But the intention here is, again, squeeze your shoulder blades together, pull your shoulder blade back, start pulling that object by pushing and flexing your elbow, so pushing your elbow to the ceiling without shrugging forward. Okay, so shoulder blade back, flex your elbow, squeeze your armpit, right between your arm and your rib, guys. Keep that muscle nice and active, extend that arm, retract, row. Again, going for 5 before you switch sides. After that, then you're going for 5 as well on both sides, your Bulgarian squat. To find an object that you can step back onto that is elevated. I'm choosing a smaller object because I know some of you guys may not have a taller object, but if possible, maybe it's the couch, maybe it's a chair. Picking a higher object to allow you to get into your hip flex a little bit better. Lower object, you just need to get longer, okay? From there, you're gonna go down, think about knee go straight to the floor, okay? Squeeze your butt to get that quad stretched out, then drive through your heel to activate your hamstrings. At all times, guys, think about keeping your glutes nice and active so your pelvis is in a neutral position versus in this tilted position. So glutes tight, core tight. As you're doing your Bulgarian squat, going for, again, 5 on both sides where you're trying to really fire up hamstrings and your glutes while keeping that core and hips in control, okay? Can go for 6 minutes, get warmed up, hopefully that gets the heart rate going for you. Start off with a bent over row. So in that bent over row, feet are hip width apart, knees are perpendicular, don't round your back, so flat back. If you're feeling tight, maybe you're up a little bit more, that's fine. If possible, drop down. From here, guys, you're gonna row that bar, in my case, as close as you can to the body. So if I had a single object, I'm still thinking about nice and tight with my elbows, not to the body, but the back, to allow me to mimic that tight bar path that I can get with a PC pipe or bar.
With the push-ups here, guys, again, let's try and keep that nice tight hollow body, stay nice and straight the entire time. So with that said, let's not sag those hips, keep that butt tight, and then we're curling in that rib cage, keeping the abs tight. For the push-up here, I like to keep those elbow pits, or the inside elbow pits facing out in front of me. So I don't want them to face inwards. I like to keep them facing out in front, so that when I break at the elbows, I'm keeping my elbows already nice and tight to my body. So that's a good cue for yourself, especially also when you're coming up, you want to think about pointing those elbow pits back out again. So you guys can do your push-ups off those toes. You guys can do a push-up where you come down and then rock back up from the knees, then to the toes. It's kind of like a kipping push-up there, that's totally fine, as long as you're keeping that core nice and tight. Last thing, you can also try going off those knees. Just one error I see sometimes with these knee push-ups, guys, is that we keep our hips bent and then come down our push-up like this. I want you to keep yourself nice and straight. So from your knees to your shoulders should be one straight line, come all the way down, and then back up again. Going into those air squats next. So air squats here, guys. Big thing, keep that chest tall. I like to kind of keep my hands out in front of me so that when I'm getting tired, I'm not looking down as I'm squatting. So I know some of you, when you get tired, hands kind of flop to the sides or in front of you and you're looking down. Try to keep those hands up a little bit taller and look straight ahead to keep that chest tall, and also to allow you to keep your weight more distributed towards that mid-foot and the heel. So again, as opposed to doing this, guys, we're trying to keep our hands up and try to stay on that mid-foot to heel. feel more as we're coming down our squat and coming up from our squat.
Okay, I got my gambling pose here. Getting ready for this stretch we're about to do, guys. Going for a 2-minute hamstring stretch. First option we're going to give you here is just reaching for your hand or your foot with your hand. So as you reach forward, your leg is locked out, so at the knee, it's locked out. You are going to round your back a little bit here. That's fine, but you're trying to feel that in that hamstring. So as you're holding it in the 2-minute for the 2 minutes, try to dig a little bit deeper by either reaching over your foot a little more, or as Yash is doing, kind of wiggling side to side to feel different areas of that hamstring. Breathe through it as you let go of your breath. Try to see if you can sink down a little bit deeper. Again, 2 minutes. You got time to play with it, so play with it. So this is your first stretch. Second stretch here is take a belt, take a skipping rope, take a band. It's available to you. Take it over and wrap it around your arch of your foot. You can pull your heel up towards you, keeping that leg straight. You can then start getting into your inner hamstring by dropping to the inside. If you don't feel much of a stretch, play around with it by maybe bending your knee, or you can even externally rotate at the hip, maybe internally rotate. Okay, bottom line, you're playing with it for the 2 minutes while you're down there, guys. So see what feels tight for you, play with it. Then when you're done the 2 minutes, you're gonna switch to the other side. So we're going for 4 minutes of mobility flexibility today, specifically for the hamstring, whether it's the inner hamstring or not, guys. You find which area feels a little tight. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow for the workout.